Hey, Bobby here. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm doing a series on my experience being on a GLP-1 medication, and this is the second episode, so welcome. I'll link to the first episode so you can catch up. So last week I was talking about a lot of background about why I decided to start this medication. So real quick, just to summarize, like my weight as it had gone kind of up and down within the 20-pound range, occasionally a 30-pound range, I'd been able to lose weight by, eating right and exercising. Since menopause, all those things that I did to lose weight stopped working. And so like the weight kept creeping on. I thought I just wasn't trying hard enough. And so then I started really like dialing it in and trying in a way that I knew was like, 100% should be working. And I, didn't work still. So I was like, okay, I give in. I'm going to try something else, right? I'm not going to just keep trying this and it's not working. So a week ago, I had my first injection. Yesterday, I had my second injection. After not losing weight for months trying, after the first week, I lost 3.8 pounds. I'm sure most of it is water weight. I don't care. It's the first time the scale has gone down, I don't know, a year. Other than the little, bouncing up and down within the same couple pounds, but like slowly creeping up. That's what it's been doing. And so down 3.8 pounds after the first week, I'm like, that's amazing. So I feel hopeful for the first time. I was starting to lose hope that I could have any impact on my health. And I also feel relieved that this is working because it hasn't been like a bad experience so far. I know it's only been 1 week and I'm on a baby dose, but it's working. I don't remember if I mentioned what dose I was on last time. It's 0.25 milligrams of a compounded semaglutide. So a quick caveat. This is just my personal experience. I am not an expert in weight loss, in menopause, in any kind of like nutrition, exercise. I'm a psychologist, but I'm not your psychologist. And even as a psychologist with my therapy clients, I'm not an expert in any of these. Anxiety, sure. But all of this is just me giving you my personal experience. If it can help anyone figure this stuff out quicker, great. Because it has been, I feel like, sort of slogging through mud, learning all the things that have changed for me since menopause. Oh my God, you guys, I'm editing this video and I thought, oh, I should have a progress picture. No, it's only been a week. There won't be any difference. But I was like, ugh, okay, I'll go take a progress picture. So real quick, I put on the clothes that I had on for my progress picture or before picture or whatever from a week ago. So I'll put a week ago here. And then here I am in the same clothes only a week later here. And I can see a difference. Like there's less muffin top. So I'm really shocked that I can see a difference. Crazy, right? This is crazy. In the first episode last week, it had been maybe 24 hours since I'd had my first shot, and I thought I might have been feeling some fatigue, and I wasn't sure. It was a side effect. I'm really sure now. I was so fatigued. There is a factor that could be interfering with that, which is last weekend from like Friday night to Monday morning, I was babysitting my 5-year-old granddaughter, and that's tiring, right? But the fatigue I felt was not just from that. I'm used to babysitting her, and I know just like that extra tiredness of, being on and taking care of a little one and waking up when they wake up, which she wakes up earlier than I usually wake up. And this was more than that. This was like I felt drugged. I felt really tired, and I, could have napped at any minute. And it lasted for about 4 days, I would say, 4 or 5 days. And then it lifted. So I took the shot on a Thursday, and from like Friday to Monday and maybe a little bit of Tuesday, I felt really tired. I was going to bed earlier. Like I said, I felt like I could nap just at any time. And then the last couple days, I felt fine. I wonder if part of that is that the medication starts to wear off when you get closer to your weekly dose. Like the half-life of the medication and its metabolites is, I think, 5 to 7 days. So it's starting to wear off. So that might be why. But I took my second shot about 24 hours ago, and so far I feel fine. So I have read that fatigue side effect is supposed to just be while your body's getting used to the medication, like in the first few weeks. So fingers crossed that, even if I do get it again, that it won't be like a permanent part of this experience. I was really on the lookout for any nausea because I know that's a really common side effect. And I wouldn't say I had nausea. I had this really light queasiness sometimes, but it was so light, I didn't feel nauseous. I just felt a little bit queasy, and then it passed. So I was relieved that I felt fine. The other effects I noticed were all like not side effects, but intended effects, right? Like therapeutic effects. I noticed pretty quickly within the first day or two of having the shot that my stomach felt fuller. There was just this sense of fullness, whether I'd eaten or not, but definitely when I ate, it felt fuller faster and it stayed fuller longer. And so my appetite was decreased. I don't know how much food noise I was experiencing before this shot because I was pretty much in like this good routine for the month before I started these shots. I'd been doing WW, and it's really possible to like eat a lot of healthy food, eat in a calorie deficit, and not be hungry. So I didn't have a lot of food noise because I was eating a lot of healthy food and not really hungry and not really like craving stuff. But that's just recently. I know what it's like to have food noise when I'm in like one of those times where I'm eating a lot of sugar and just like not eating great. Like the more sugar I have, the more I want it. And so that food noise of like, donuts, can be pretty loud. And I haven't had that this past week, but I also wasn't having it right before the shot. So I don't know, how that's affecting me yet. I just know my appetite was decreased to the point that I could have really like kind of drastically undereaten and not felt hungry or deprived. And I didn't want to do that. I really want to preserve as much lean body mass as I can, and I don't want to starve myself. I don't want to screw up my metabolism any more than it's already kind of wacky. So I made sure to, I'm saying I made sure. I had a goal to eat 3 meals a day. Let me look at my notes because I almost I think 5 of the last 7 days I ate 3 meals a day. One day I skipped breakfast and one day I skipped lunch. And it wasn't like a conscious decision. It was more like I was busy and I wasn't hungry, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, I didn't eat lunch. But I don't want to do that. I want to eat 3 meals a day. The other thing that I've been tracking and on top of is getting at least 100 grams of protein a day and drinking at least like 80 ounces of water. Fortunately, those aren't new habits for me. Those are things that I've been working on for months. So it's coming pretty naturally to me right now. The foods I've fit into my life already make it pretty easy for me to get 100 grams or more of protein a day. And I'm used to drinking a lot of water. In fact, I'm going to drink some right now. So I say that I'm used to eating 100 grams of protein a day, but I went back and I looked and I was like, did I this week? Because I really had to like remind myself to eat. And because of that sense of fullness and like getting full faster, I ate slower and it was hard to eat as much. So I didn't totally succeed with the protein. Let's see. 3 days, I didn't hit 100 grams of protein. I was just under 78, 82, and 96. So not bad. I averaged it because I like math. And I averaged 108 grams of protein a day over the past week. It's just that it ranged from 78 to 150 something. But it was a pretty normal distribution. Like the median was 109. So sorry to talk stats. If, skip this part if you're not into stats, but I like stats. So I really did look at the range, the median, and the mean of my protein intake because I'm really prioritizing protein intake and water. And The water, I didn't have to track because, like I said, I'm just used to drinking it. This is 40 ounces, and I drink 2 or 3 of these every day just like by habit. So, plus whatever like coffee, tea, seltzer water, and stuff also. So, it wasn't easy to eat that much. Whereas before the medication, I had to really focus on staying on track to not eat too much. And this past week, I've had to focus to stay on track to eat enough. Oh, the other thing I was really trying to stay on top of, in addition to protein and water, was my fiber intake. I have heard from my doctor and from other people who've used GLP-1 medications that constipation can be an issue. So I had already been pretty good about tracking and having at least 25 grams of fiber a day. So again, this wasn't like a brand new habit for me. I think if I had started out from a place of like not getting enough protein, not getting enough fiber, not being used to drinking water, I think it would have been so many changes at once. But I'm really glad that I've been working on those habits over the past, I don't know, really long, like years, really. Getting 25 grams of fiber is something I've been used to. But again, I was like, if I'm not eating as much and I'm not hungry, am I going to get 25 grams of fiber a day? So I was like extra careful to actually like add it all up and everything. My main sources of fiber are fruits and vegetables and beans. Beans have so much fiber and I love them. But I also get it from some whole grains, some low carb wraps that have a lot of fiber in them. So some like more processed stuff, but really like seeds, like chia seeds, flax seeds. I just throw them in my smoothie or sprinkle them on a salad, make chia pudding. And then, and then have some beans and fruits and vegetables. And it's just like, it's not that hard to get to 25 grams. But this week, I checked it out and I was like, did I do it? And you know what? I didn't. I didn't do it 3 days. One day I only got 15. And then 2 other days I got 21 grams of fiber and 23 grams of fiber. So not that bad. And it ranged from 15 to 54 grams of fiber. That was a high fiber day. It averaged 31 grams of fiber, so that's good. I don't really know if the body works that way. You know, it's not like you can get all your fiber in on one day and then not eat any of the other days. So I don't know, that I'm like making up for lost fiber or whatever. But at least like, I don't know, somehow it's reassuring to me that I get less on some days and more on other days. Same with the protein, that I got less on some days and more on other days. And I'm sure it doesn't work in an extreme version, like save up and eat 1,000 grams of protein one day and not have any protein for a while. I know the body doesn't work that way. But if I'm sort of like, fluctuating a little bit above and below my target, I think that's fine. Like I'm okay with that. So I don't think I did terribly, but I would like to pay more attention to hit that 25 grams of fiber a week because like I was talking about the constipation thing, I haven't been super constipated since I was pregnant and she's 26 years old now, but that's how uncomfortable it is that I remember how horrible it was and I never want to go back there again. So even this past week, I could tell that I just wasn't as regular and things had just slowed down. So I think it was Sunday night, I had a cup of Smooth Moves tea, and then like things started moving again on Monday. I know it's like TMI, but hey, you gotta know, it's so important. Pooping is very important. So the fiber and the water help a lot. I think the days that I was low on fiber are those days that I skipped meals. And so it's not that I was eating, low fiber food, I just wasn't eating enough food. So I really think the challenge for me is going to be staying on top of eating even when I'm not hungry. Right now let's see. Right now it's about an hour before I usually eat lunch. I did have breakfast this morning. I am not hungry at all. In an hour, we'll see. Maybe I'll push it off another hour and see if I want to eat lunch then. But the point is that I will eat lunch today, even if I don't feel hungry, because I know I need the nourishment. I would rather eat enough and lose weight more slowly than sort of take advantage of not being hungry and just not eat at all. I just know that that's not how I want to lose this weight. I want to get enough nutrition. So even if it slows down the rate of weight loss, that's not the whole reason I'm here. I'm here to be healthy. And my doctors told me that losing weight will help my health. So I want to do the losing weight part in a healthy way. What's really fascinating to me is I understand calories in, calories out, and you need to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. But what's blowing my mind is that I have been in a calorie deficit for weeks, months, and not lost any weight. And then this past week, I was in a calorie deficit, not that much more of one than before. I figured out the calories, I was only averaging like 100 fewer calories a day than what I was before. So there's no way you can lose, 3.8 pounds from just cutting 100 calories out of your diet. So there's something more, like a calorie deficit. Maybe it's that it's necessary but not sufficient. I don't know if it's about insulin sensitivity or what it is, but there's something that my body was doing that wasn't letting go of weight even in a calorie deficit. And I thought that was impossible, but it's not. I didn't have a big change in my activity in the past week. Well, that's not true. I was a little less active because the weekend where I was watching my granddaughter, I didn't get in any workouts. I got steps walking around with her and everything, but I didn't go to the gym or do any home workouts. So I missed a workout. Usually I do 2 total body strength training routines a week. And this past week I only did 1. And then I went on a bunch of walks. And usually I try to get one 45-minute cardio class in from my gym. And I didn't go to any cardio classes. But I did, yesterday I walked almost 2 hours, an hour and 45 minutes with a friend and her dog. That was so fun, so cute. Yeah, I've gone on some walks and did 1 total body TRX strength workout. So not zero activity, but not as much as I usually do. My other activity is every night I get down on the ground and do some mobility and stretching, but that's 10 minutes, and it's not really for weight loss. It's just more for functional fitness. The first shot I did in my stomach, my second shot, I decided just to try a different site. I don't know, just because. So I did it on the top of my thigh. The top of my thigh, I didn't even feel it at all. The stomach, I felt the little pinprick of the needle, and then that was all I felt. And the thigh, I didn't even feel that. So I think I'm just going to keep rotating. The 3 approved sites are the front of the stomach, the top of the thigh, and the side or back of the arm. So I don't know, just I've heard that it can affect your side effects or your absorption or something, depending on where you inject the shot. I'm going to play around with that, and I'll keep you posted. Of the stomach and the thigh was a smidge less painful. The stomach wasn't painful. It was a 0.5 on a scale of 1 to 10. It was a half. And then the thigh was 0. That's just my really quick update. So far, so good. I'm really excited to see what happens. Like I said, I feel like I've got some hope that I can lose this weight that's been creeping on. I think I forgot to even talk about my actual weight. I'm 5'9", and my happy place weight-wise is about 160, especially if I'm lifting weights and I've got muscle. It's hard for me to go below 160 if I've got a lot of muscle on me. I've been down to about 140 before when I didn't have as much muscle, and I basically am the same size as when I weigh 160. I'm just softer, right? I don't have as much muscle. And I can weigh 20 pounds more, wear the same clothes, but feel so much stronger and better. So I wouldn't at this point want to weigh less than 160, but really 170, which would be a 40-pound weight loss. 170 I'd be fine with. So I started out at 210, and right now I weigh 206.2. Is that right? Yeah. And we'll see where these next weeks take me. Overall, I give this first week on a GLP-1 a thumbs up. I'm down 3.8 pounds, and I'm not suffering any major side effects that are making it difficult for me to stay on the medication. I would say, like, the fatigue and that sense of not being hungry and getting full faster, those are the main differences I noticed. If you enjoy watching this and you want to join me on my whole GLP-1 weight loss journey, please subscribe so you can stay up to date on my next episodes. Also, I'd appreciate any likes to this video if you've enjoyed it, and any comments or questions that you have, please leave them in the comment section. You don't need to disclose super personal information, but I don't want to go through this alone. So if there's anyone out there who is also kind of dealing with menopause and weight loss and medication, I'd love to connect with you. Okay. I will be back next week with my third installment of my GLP experience. Thanks. See you later.